Hello everyone and a very happy Independence Day to all of you who are from India. And on this auspicious day, I'm going to show you one of the most famous chess games, or arguably the most famous chess game of all time. In this game, one of the main superstars of olden chess is involved. His name is Sir Paul Morphy. So many of you might not know about Paul Morphy, but let me show you and introduce him. So, he's the great Paul Morphy. He's also known as the pride and sorrow of chess because at his time he was the greatest chess player and he died unfortunately at the age of 47. That's why he's also called the sorrow of chess. So, today on this auspicious day, I'm gonna show the best game of his life, probably, and the most famous chess game, arguably. So let's go. So this game is also called the night opera night game or night opera game. I don't know that much, but this game is very famous because of its beauty, the attacking nature, and the iconic of the brilliance of Paul Morphy. So this game was held in an opera, and there's a legend saying that these two people, like told Paul Morphy that they'll be playing the game during the opera show. So this would not be such a great thing. They could have done it afterwards. They could have done before. I don't know what happened. I was not invited, unfortunately. So okay, now enough of nonsense. Let's go with the game. Here, Paul Morphy is white and these two people are black. So let's go e4, e5, knight f3, and d6. Now, many people here play the move knight c6, including myself. It's the most natural move that comes in our mind. But in the olden times, people like to play d6. Obviously, it's not a bad move. It's called the Philidor defense, defending the pawn. But it has like disadvantages because the bishop is blocked here. So yeah, okay, here people play bishop c4, knight c3, but I like to play the move d4 because you just break the center as soon as possible. So here, black played the move bishop g4. Now this is not such a common move played in these positions. Usually people play this or takes, but Duke of Brunswick and Count Eduard tried to play this move. So this move is not that great, as you can even see the evolution bar showing 0.9 for white, because I can, firstly Paul Morphy obviously took, and because of this, if black takes, then I can play the move queen captures d8, and after the king takes, I have knight captures e5. I'm up a pawn. I'll be having a huge lead in development. Sorry for that, and I'll be just better if you can even see the evolution bar plus 1 point plus 2 actually. So that did not happen in the game. We had bishop captures f3, and obviously queen captures f3 was played, and after pawn captures e5, the material is equal, but the position is in favor of white. Why? Because the queen is out, and now this f7 pawn is weak. So can you all tell me the most fatal threat that white has against black? Yes, you got it correct. This f7 pawn. We can play the move bishop c4, and now we are threatening a mate. Obviously, the game doesn't end like this, then it would not be the most famous game. And we have the person, those two people who are in the opera playing the move knight f6, defending the mate. Okay, now here many people try to play the move like knight c3, bishop g5, castle, including myself. But that's why Paul Morphy is Paul Morphy and I'm me. Paul Morphy looks for an opportunity that is too good because what he looks for is attacking two things, and but he also violates an opening principle. He plays the move queen b3. Now, the opening principle says do not move your piece twice until you're fully developed. And as you can see, Paul Morphy is not developed, but he has a good reason of violating it. He is now attacking two pawns, the f7 pawn and the b7 pawn. Now, if I ask you all that which pawn is more like important, so you would obviously say it's the f7 pawn, right? Why? Because if I take this pawn, the knight can come out and the rook is defended. But if you all allow me to take this pawn, the king comes in and is just mate. So that's why this pawn is more important. Hence, Duke of Brunswick played the move queen e7, defending this pawn. And Paul Morphy cannot take this pawn because after queen captures b7, you have the move queen to b4 check, and now the king is in check and the queen is attacked. So if this happens, he has to take, and after the check, Paul Murphy is not so great because like he doesn't have a great position because after this move he has to go back and the pawn can be taken. So this is not how the game goes, obviously. And Paul Murphy plays the move knight c3. This is a correct way to go about it because now he can play moves like knight d5, get the bishop out, and let's see what happens. So we have pawn to c6. Now this move also protects this b7 pawn and blocks the this diagonal. And then we have the move bishop g5. Now what Paul Morphy is doing is he's applying pressure. Always remember, pressure is the biggest man in the game. Forget anyone, forget Magnus Carlsen, forget Vishwanathan Anand. Pressure is the biggest man. Now he's applying pressure everywhere. He's applying pressure on the f7 pawn, he's applying pressure on this diagonal, on the knight, on the queen, and black is doing nothing. Black is applying pressure nowhere. So here, black plays the move pawn to b5. Now black is like, okay, I've got to go. I have to, make a statement. I have to do something. But many players might be like, okay, I cannot go here, I cannot go here, I cannot take this pawn, I cannot even take this pawn, I can just go back. But again, as I said, I'm me and Paul Morphy is Paul Morphy. He plays the move knight captures b5, and this is a brilliant move. Why is this a brilliant move? Paul Morphy is like, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces in the game. Black has got one piece which is hardly doing anything, just defending like a moron. So Paul is like, why can I not take? Why can I not take? So after black takes, Paul Morphy plays move bishop d5 check. And now you can see the evolution bar jumping on black. Okay. So first things first, black does not have any options. Black cannot play this move. Black cannot play this move because the knight is pinned, and if you remove the knight, you lose the queen. If black plays the move king d8, who would be able to save him from the belligerent rook attack with the queen and bishops? That would be devastating. So black has one and only option of knight to d7, and that's what's played in the game. Now, Paul Morphy, having the flexibility of castling both sides, asks from you all, which side should he castle? So, you all might obviously say long castle, right? Obviously, getting this rook also into the party, now we have 4 pieces into the game. And Paul Morphy has nothing. This queen defending like a moron. Sorry for the language. Okay. Okay, so now we have a lot of things here. Paul Morphy is applying pressure everywhere. This diagonal, this knight, the king, this diagonal, the knight, the queen. And if you see, the rook is in the game, the bishop is in the game, this bishop is in the game, the queen is also in the game. And only thing is this rook is not in the game, which will come after some time. So here we have the move rook to d8. You have to defend this, right? If you don't, I can just play this, sorry. I can play check and you cannot move this knight. Do not consider this knight as a defender because the queen is lost. So we have this. Now, Paul Morphy can do many things. Like, right, he can just take this, maybe go like, okay, I can do this. And after trade, if Paul Morphy trades everything, black will be a little better because he's up a pawn. Sorry, up a piece. So, whatever Paul Morphy has to do, he has to do fast. He has to react fast. So Paul Morphy plays the move Rook captures G7. What is this? It's a forcing move. Obviously, it's a forcing move. It's forcing everything. You cannot take with this knight. This gets taken. You cannot take with the queen. And you cannot take with the king. Or the opponent would smack it. Don't do that. So the only move left with black is the move Rook captures D7. And here, now if you go, Paul Morphy can take this knight, and after all this, he'll be an exchange up, but come on. He's Paul Morphy. He has to finish it fast. He plays the move Rook to D1. As I told you, this rook was not in the game before. He came into the game and he stayed away doing a job, right? He's attacking the rook, and now everything is tangled. You cannot move this rook, you cannot move this knight. You can only move the queen. Let's see what he does. He plays the move queen e6, trying to exchange queens. Now, exchanging queens would be good for him. I mean, come on, good for Paul Morphy, because if he takes, and he still will be having the advantage. But even after all this, and this Paul Morphy has 2 pawns up, but the it's not completely winning on the spot, right? And that's what good players do. They win on the spot. So Paul Morphy plays the move bishop captures d7. And now, believe it or not, the game is over. He plays it because you cannot take with a queen, obviously, because the rook takes, and if you take with a knight, try and find the continuation. So it's white to move. I'll give you all 5 seconds, or you can feel free to pause the video and find the move. Because if you do, I'll come to your house and give you all a gold medal. Sorry. Okay. So the move here is the move queen to b8, and black is gone. Toasted. Because black cannot go anywhere. And after this, there's only this rook to d8 and a beautiful checkmate to the most famous chess game in the world. So this was the style of Paul Morphy. He is also known as one of the most greatest chess players, the pride, the sorrow of chess. So again, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Please like, share and subscribe, and tell me in the comments which video do you want next. Bye bye.